Hello and welcome to the Berkcast, the How to Train Dragon podcast. I'm your host HC, and with me is.
I am Wolf.
And today we have another guest. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm M from Hello-em75 at tumblr.com.
Okay, great to have you here. Thanks for being here. And
Yeah, no problem.
are you ready to be asked some questions?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, so first things first, for those who don't know you or your blog, what is your blog about? Give the viewers a bit of a recap.
Okay, so my blog, Hello-em75, which is hello-m75, it's mainly a Hatred-centric blog where I don't really produce my own content, but I mainly reblog other How to Train Your Dragon fandom blogs content that's Hatred related. But I also have three other side blogs. Only Girl on a Dragon, which is only dash girl dash on dash a dash dragon. A Troll Hunters blog, which is Babe it's Troll Hunters, and a Voltron blog, and the Pink Paladin of Voltron with no dashes. So I have a couple other fandom blogs going on too.
But what is your How to Train Dragon specific blog about? Like what is it that you do?
I run various projects like what we're going to talk about here, the Indefinite How to Train Your Dragon Fandom Appreciation Project. I've hosted a couple of How to Train Your Dragon Fandom Awards, but aside from that, I'm not like an artist or a writer. I don't really produce my own content. I mostly reblog other blogs' content.
That's cool. Sometimes giving appreciation to others is the best kind of way to get into something, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, Wolf, next question is yours.
How did you get into the How to Train Your Dragon fandom?
I entered the fandom like around March or April of 2014, but I'd watched the first How to Train Your Dragon movie a couple times before that. But it's like, I guess I was kind of too young to appreciate it back then. Like I couldn't appreciate like, I guess the animation quality and the storyline. But I guess when I like saw the movie later on, like back in 2014, I had more of a connection to the characters. I felt more drawn to Hitcher specifically, and that kind of was like what got me into all the Dragons content. But it was still another couple months until I decided to go onto Tumblr and make a blog. So it's around April of 2014 was when I got into the fandom, I guess.
So it was around Defenders of Berk, How to Train Dragon 2 hype, pretty much.
Yeah, but I think I was a little pre-hype. Like I wasn't like I didn't get like all the How to Train Your Dragon trailers and like the interviews until like May or June. So I think I just came in at like an odd time.
Oh well. Anyway, so after you got into the fandom and everything, what inspired you to create the Indefinite How to Train Dragon Fandom Appreciation Project?
So I didn't like start thinking about it immediately after I got in. It took me like a good 2 years before I was kind of like wrestling around with the idea of hosting a How to Train Your Dragon fandom wide appreciation project. But my inspiration for the project, I guess, is the people in the How to Train Your Dragon fandom themselves, since they are the main target of the project, which makes sense. And so I guess being, after you've been in the fandom a couple years, it's kind of like you're noticed like a fandom vet. So it's like, I guess I kind of deem myself like a fandom veteran. So it's like, I kind of understood the dynamic of the fandom and like how certain people like would get appreciated more than others for their art or their writing, but like other people who were putting out new content, it took them a while to kind of get noticed and get acknowledged, even if what they were producing was really good. And I also kind of understood like, Tumblr is kind of this place where if your personality isn't like a niche, then you won't really get noticed. And I kind of understood that because originally when I went on, I wasn't as popular of a blog as I am now because it's like I was young, I was kind of naive, I didn't really know like the social structure that they had there. And so this project has kind of been like an outlet for me to kind of shine a light on those people who may feel like they don't fit in yet, but it's also for me to recognize people who are successful and don't get as much appreciation as they should.
So it's a win-win. Awesome. And if I just kind of want to tell this story because you know what? Why not? It's funny and it's very related to what we're talking about. The day you posted the Tumblr, the post about us, about the Berkcast, it was pretty early in the morning to me. I was in a class that I really wasn't having a good time at. Imagine that, HC, not been into his studies. Go figure. Never happened. But I'm just sitting there. I'm so bored. I'm looking at my laptop like, when is this going to end? The teacher isn't even saying anything worth writing. And then all of a sudden I get a message from Tumblr saying, hey, you were tagged by Hello-em75 or something. And I see this and I'm like, all of a sudden my mood gets better. Sadly, the class didn't get any better, but at least, something. Something was worth waking up early to. So thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem. That's what I appreciate most, I guess, about this project, because people sometimes like comment or they message me directly and say, oh, this really made my day, and that makes me feel better for making people happy.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Wolf, you get the question which I actually, which I should be asking because I'm legitimately interested about this, but go ahead.
How did you decide on the name? It's definitely, I will say this, like the name is definitely a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah, that's why I abbreviate it most of the time because even for me, I don't like writing it out or saying it all out. Yeah. And so the idea what came before the name, I didn't have a whole like name idea set up, but when I decided that I wanted to put this idea into motion, I kind of knew that whatever the name was going to be, I wanted it to be able to have an acronym because it's like, I don't know. Because it's like, I guess for people, it's like, what's this acronym stand for? Like, what is this thing? Like, but if I just stated out like a whole long project name, people will be like, oh, okay, they like gloss over and they move past it. So I kind of wanted to draw an attention right off the bat. But I guess the whole thing about the indefinite part is I kind of wanted it to seem like a permanent project. Like, this is an ongoing thing. Like, this isn't going to stop after like a month or it won't like I won't be like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore after like 2 months. It's like, for as many people continue to come into the fandom, I will continue to do it, which is like where the indefinite part comes from. And I guess the HFAP, How to Train Your Dragon Fandom Appreciation Project, that part was kind of a given because I'm appreciating other blogs and it's a How to Train Your Dragon fandom and all that.
Cool. Okay, so what is the process of writing a post relating to the project? How do you decide which person in the community will be the topic of each post?
It's actually pretty random. I've gotten this question before, and they're like, "Oh, how do I get noticed?" And I'm like, "Well," and I kind of have to compose an elaborate process, but it really isn't. It's like I try to steer more towards people who have been active recently in the fandom, or have like over time kind of been putting out material, or been kind of expressing their feelings about the fandom and have really shown their commitment and love to it. So, and I guess the process of the post writing is pretty simple too. It's just, I consider what makes whoever I'm focusing on different from other bloggers and different from other blogs that I've seen before. And so for you guys specifically, it was like, you're a podcast blog. Like, there's no other How to Train Your Dragon Fandom podcast blog, or at least when I did it. And I tried to like, and so but after that, I tried to like, so I focused on kind of the surface level, like, okay, you're good at art, or you're good at this podcast, or you're good at whatever. And then I try to go in more deep and make comments more on their character, like if they're a kind person, like they show appreciation for other blogs, or they've given advice to other blogs. From what I can tell, then I try to do that too. I try to recognize good traits about themselves, I guess, so more personal later on.
Before we move on to the next question, one thing I want to add to this specific question do you have like a hit list, in a sense that you have people you want to talk about, and you're just waiting for the right moment to write about them?
Yeah, I feel like more when I was like, because I've gone past 100 posts, which is past 100 blogs by now, but I feel like back when it was kind of like I was just beginning, I definitely had a hit list, like, okay, I'm going to focus on these people later, and I'm going to focus on these people now. But I feel like now it's definitely like I covered like all the major people in the fandom. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm really searching more now, I guess, and not really kind of planning things out.
Okay. Wolf, your turn.
Has someone you've mentioned in the project contacted you before? Bleh. Has someone you've mentioned in the project contacted you after you've posted about them? Besides HCMS.
Well, that's
yeah.
given.
Yeah, there have been a couple people that's been who messaged me and they thank me for noticing them. And so that always makes me happy. It makes my day, seeing people be appreciative of what I do. But even if they don't respond, then it's okay. Because, people have other lives, and I don't want to make them feel like they have to acknowledge pretty much a total stranger for a random post that's saying, oh, your blog's awesome.
I would agree. Like, that's even for us doing this cast, right? Like, that's kind of the best part, is just having someone saying, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
It's genuinely just enjoyable to have someone come along and say, this thing you're doing, it's great, I enjoy it, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Please talk to us.
Yeah, that's the best part of this whole thing. And yeah, pretty much took the words out of my mouth, the wolf. First time that ever happened, because we usually don't agree on anything. You'll probably see what we mean in a future question. But anyway, for now, from all the people you wrote posts about, is there a specific one you would say is your favorite, or several people you say are your favorite? And note, no, you don't have to say us. We are not that bad. I want to believe.
You absolutely have to say us.
Well, lucky you are not the first of the Berkcast.
You guys are definitely the most memorable, considering you took me on for one of your podcasts. So,
brownie
but
points.
It's kind of hard for me to pick favorites. Yeah, you got brownie points. It's kind of hard for me to pick favorites, I guess, because the project is to kind of appreciate, the whole goal of the project is to kind of appreciate everyone equally. Like, I kind of focus on appreciating specific blogs more in my How to Train Your Dragon Fandom Awards, like the one I did over the summer, where people would like send in art or send in writing, or they'd submit people for the best blog in the fandom. But as I've gotten to know some people in the How to Train Your Dragon fandom specifically, I've obviously become more partial to certain friends that I'd done the HFAP posts on. And so I guess since it's the first one, I'm kind of partial to the one I did for Chief Hickstrid, who's also become a good friend of mine. So it kind of set a precedent for the whole tone for the rest of the project, I guess.
Awesome. That question is me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I've lost count. Anyway, so you know the yin and the yang. When there's good, there's sometimes bad. So is there a post you regret making, either bad feedback or or your opinion on the person changed? Did that ever happen?
Um, I've gotten bad feedback before, kind of like about the whole idea of the project in general, where it's like I choose the person, so people can get kind of bitter if their blog isn't chosen, because they're like, well, I'm doing this and this. Why haven't you noticed me? And I'm like, well, I don't really know your blog yet. So, and some people have given me kind of anonymous hate messages about other people, but I try not to give those really any attention because if you're messaging me anonymously through Tumblr, like you're not even really willing to show me what blog you are, then I don't really care about your opinion. I see this person as a good person, so
Absolutely.
and yeah, I try to evaluate people based on my kind of conceptions of good. I don't really win other people's opinion because it's like if I'm focusing on this person for the project, it's like I consider that they have like at their core they're good people. Like obviously people can be kind of what's the word for it? Like contradictory. Like I know there's some people in the blog, or not people in the blog, people in the fandom who are kind of considered problematic because of their opinions, but that doesn't mean they're bad people. And I think the fandom especially kind of has a hard time separating those two.
Okay, first of all, great answer. And second of all, that's probably the second most elegant way I've ever heard someone say fuck the haters.
Thanks.
Second most elegant, but hey.
Yeah, second is the best, man. First is the worst, second's the best.
Yeah, as one of my neighbors used to say, second place is like first place.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely agree.
Yeah. Anyway, Wolf, it's your turn.
Would you ever do a projects like? Would you ever do like a project or a blog like this for another franchise? And if so, what would it be?
In the future, I could kind of see myself doing something similar to IHFAP or the project for the Troll Hunters fandom, primarily because it's pretty small so far, and it's like not many people know about it. Like, while they do have a Voltron blog, I feel like it's already getting a lot of appreciation. There's already a lot of hype for it, so I feel like I'd kind of be muffled in the voices.
Mm-hmm.
But since I really love the show, and it's a smaller community, I feel like I'd have a wider reach there if I were going to make another project for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you're the second guest over here who actually watched Voltron, so now it's my time to actually start trying and watch it.
It's a good show. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah. I bet it's just that, again, I don't have the time and I watch a lot of shows as is.
Yeah.
But I'll make time for it. I'll find the time. Anyway, it's time. The question that tears friendships apart in this podcast. The Berkcast Civil War has been has been going on for pretty much a while because of it. How to Train a Dragon 1 or 2?
I hate this question. I really do.
Well, considering the build-up I just gave it, yeah, it's pretty easy to hate that question, but what you gonna do? We have to ask it. It's a tradition.
Yeah, this one took me the longest to answer, even though it's so straightforward. So, if I had to choose, if that was my dying wish to choose to bring How to Train Dragon 1 or How to Train Dragon 2 with me to heaven, I'd probably bring How to Train Dragon 2.
Yes!
Partly because I love How to Train Dragon just a smidgen less. The first one just a smidgen less. I guess because the second one is a more mature piece. When I saw it in theaters and when I continue to see it, I relate to it more, kind of, because it's a coming of age story for Hiccup. He's kind of stepping out of his adolescence and his childish ways, and he's becoming this chief. And he's kind of discovering who he is in the process, and I just found that a really powerful story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at the end of the day, both films are great, and everyone should watch both of them.
of course.
Actually, kind of an off question. Have you ever tried watching both of them back to back?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've done that a couple times. It's pretty weird, but because it's like I know there's other shows in between now, so it's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
like
weird.
I feel like I'm skipping over a whole section. I'm like, oh, I know this happens, but it's not going to be covered in the movie. But yeah, it's pretty
Wolf,
interesting.
have you tried doing like a binge of these two movies? I
Yeah,
forgot to ask you.
absolutely. I have. I've also like I've also been a part of like the different little fandom watches that the fandom has done, and like with different groups of people,
Oh yeah,
where
those
they
are fun.
watch. Basically, what they do generally in those is what's generally been done in the past is watch the movie, then then the Riders of Berk, all of it, all of Defenders of Berk, then the second movie, and also throw in the shorts there in there as well. Then now as well throw in Race to the Edge too.
You know what?
So
What do you guys think?
you're awake for a
What do
long
you guys
time
think?
during those.
Yeah, I just want to say I remember before Age of Ultron, I think there was like in one theater there was like a showing of all the MCU movies up to that point, like from Iron Man 1 all the way to till Age of Ultron. Imagine, what do you think will kill people more, this or How to Train Your Dragon marathon?
How to Train Your Dragon. Like the
Oh yeah,
movies,
for sure.
the shows alone are just longer than all of those movies put together.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, for
tougher
sure.
question. Tougher question. All the MCU movies up to Infinity War, or How to Train Your Dragon Marathon?
It'd still be How to
Oh
Train
gosh.
Your Dragon. I mean, again, like
Yes, of course.
Riders of Berk is 8 hours long if you watch it all
Uh-huh.
back to back.
Yep.
Not counting Defenders of Berk, not counting Race to the Edge. Like
Well,
Riders of
when
Berk
I'm
by
saying
itself is
them,
8 hours
when I'm,
long, I think.
And
but
the
when I,
individual specials.
Oh yeah.
yes, but when I'm saying MCU, I don't mean just the movies. I mean Agents of Shield and Daredevil and Jessica Jones, all of those
Okay, never
Oh
mind.
boy.
That might be more.
Oh
things.
yeah, I'm getting tired thinking about that.
Okay, I'm going to watch all the MCU things. Okay. Anyway, back on topic. Wolf, this is your question.
What is your favorite season/episode of the show?
This is a hard question for me too. But right off,
Ironically, the shortest questions are also the hardest.
yeah, because there's so many episodes and seasons to choose from, so it's kind of like I like different things about each of them. So I can't say I have a favorite season, but I can say that I have a favorite episode. And so I guess currently, because I kind of changed my opinions a lot, it's season 5 or from the season 5 episode 8, which is the Wings of War part 1, where we kind of see where like Krogan's invaded the island and Hiccups and his gang have had to escape and stuff and go back to Berk. And so how they handle that arc where Hiccup doesn't really want to fight Krogan, he doesn't want to hurt his Singe-tails. I thought that was really interesting how they're able to connect that into Hiccup and the character and How to Train Dragon 2, where he's like, we need to protect the dragons. It's not their fault that they're being controlled by Drago. So I just thought that was a really good
Drago, wait, what?
segue.
It's looking at the parallel there is what she's talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like how that continues on to how he acts in the second movie as well. And I'll agree. Like it's really well done. I liked it.
Yeah.
And I also liked how they had the rest of the cast say, well, you may not be willing to, but we are, so we're willing to do this. Like that was also really good.
If I remember correctly, this is one of the episodes I was most fond of in this new season, which is saying something.
Yeah. I know some people didn't really like this new season very much.
Yeah, here's the thing, it's not that I don't like it, it's just wasted potential in some areas, but we have an episode about that. Go listen to this. And anyway, what is your favorite How to Train Dragon character? Let me guess, you hate this question.
No. I love all the characters, but I'm very partial to Astrid. and my friend She Picture knows this. But I guess she's my favorite because she's really a role model for young girls out there. I feel like if I was watching this as a child, like if I was younger and I was just kind of going along with the motions of the plot and not really involved in the fandom, I'd still learn a lot from Astrid's bravery and Astrid's courage overall. And she's just really empowering as a role model for people.
Without really pushing it in the audience's face, I think, which is also something that should be noted.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so would you say your favorite dragon in the show is Stonefly, or is there another dragon?
I'm unoriginal, so I'm still partial to Toothless, because
Unoriginal is fine. Toothless is great.
Yeah, unoriginal is fine.
Yeah. I think Toothless's charm is that he's the most unoriginal design out of all the dragons. He's the simplest one, which is why people love him so much.
Yeah. His design's very endearing.
In a franchise with a dragon with 4 wings, he definitely stands out.
Well, it's 3 wings and a mechanical tail, but hey.
It still definitely stands out for, compared to some of the other dragons.
Yeah.
Anyway, final question, and that question also tells seas and skies and whatever. Wolf, will you do the honors?
What is...
of asking that?
Okay. What is your How to Train Your Dragon 1-true pairing?
Well, since my whole blog is centric around it, it's 6th grade, for sure. And so I kind of wish Rush was here because he'd be able to scream with me in the background,
I'm sure he's listening to this and saying yes.
He's definitely screaming wherever he's at right now. As a matter of fact, we'll just get in touch with him real quick. Rush, scream. I'm sure.
Last time I asked him to scream, this is what he came up with. So
Very enthusiastic.
I'm just imagining him listening to this and as soon as you say this, like you cut to Thor from Thor Ragnarok going, yes, she's the friend from War. Okay, so you know what? Can we make this a bit more interesting outside of Hickstrid? Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. That's a good question. It doesn't have to be romantic, right? It can be a bro TV or...
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Could be.
I guess if I were to go with another romantic pairing, it'd probably be Stalka, Stoic and Valka, just because I really loved their dynamic and How to Train Your Dragon 2, even though it obviously was short-lived. I'm getting a little emotional just talking about it, but
an explosive ending.
Yeah, quite explosive.
Why do you do this to me? Is it because people keep choosing How to Train Your Dragon 2 as their favorite over 1? Do you just enjoy it?
Normally it's Rush, by the way.
Yeah, but he's not here, so you're taking his place because.
Yep.
Oh well. But I totally get what you mean. Stalker, aside of having a weird ship name, Stalker is fine. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for our questions. Is there anything you want to say to the listeners before we close? Like, where can they find you?
You can find me at Hello-em75 at tumblr.com. So that's my blog handle, so just look it up. And you'll find a lot of Fixtured there. So if anyone listening to this really likes Fixtured, then go there. And this kind of has been on the down low on my blog, but I had a summer How to Train Your Dragon fandom Tumblr awards, and I'm starting it up again for the holiday season, and it's called M Snoggletog Awards. So check that out and
Good name.
take part in it if you want to.
The eggs won't explode once the celebration is done, right?
No promises.
Actually, you know what? That's something we kind of forgot to ask. If you're ready for some sort of an improv question, what is your favorite How to Train Your Dragon short?
Oh. Due to the Night Fury, probably. Just because because it was an attachment to the first movie and it was still done by the same animators and the same directors. It's just like the animation quality is so much better. And I feel like the story is stronger than like Dawn of the Dragon Racers.
Yeah, do you count it as an episode of the show or as a short? That's a question we debated not too long ago.
I count it as a short because it doesn't really tie into Race to the Edge as much. It's kind of a standalone thing. Because even though Race to the Edge is fairly episodic, especially in the first season, it's kind of it doesn't really feel like part of Race to the Edge to me.
Zero.
Episode 0, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So people know where to find you. Any closing things to say aside from that before we finish the episode?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so we thank you again for being here. Always great to have guests around.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem.
Especially guests that contribute to my side of How to Train Dragon 1 and 2. I'm sorry, I'm just happy. Okay, but professionalism here. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it, and thank you to the listeners for listening. If you want to talk to Wolf, me, or Rush, you can do this on either Tumblr, where we are known as Berkcast Team, on Twitter, we are Berkcast with capital B, capital C, and all of us are on the Berk Frontline forums. So until next time, I was HC.
And I've been Wolf.
And I was M from Hello-em75, so thank you.
And for Rush, we say, talk to you next time and take care.
Bye-bye.